What's up, y'all, and welcome back to part 2 of episode 7, Agree to Disagree, where we have been diving into our favorite TV shows, and this part is not going to disappoint. We are going to be diving into our final show that we wanted to talk about, which is 911. And let me tell you, season 7 has not disappointed. From Tommy and Buck to Hen and Karen, Athena and Bobby, and even Eddie and Miss Mighty Soul Honey, they have been giving us the everlasting blues. Where do you want to start at, D-Lo?
Let's just go ahead and talk about the Buck situation.
Okay, period. One of the elephants that were many in the room on this season. So, for me, I think it's right up the alley of where Buck's character was going. As far as him being so sporadic on who he was dating, how long he kind of dated with these different people. If y'all don't know, the whole premises of Buck and Tommy is that Buck has a thing for Tommy. Okay? Tommy is a helicopter pilot who has worked with the fire department in the past and is really close to Eddie. Which in the beginning, it kind of looked like Buck was jealous of Eddie and Tommy's relationship. But it turned out that Buck was jealous because he wanted a little bit of Tommy's time, honey. So, what do you feel about it? How do you feel about the whole Tommy Buck situation?
Well, I just didn't see me personally, I didn't see the character development for that. Like, seeing him being the ladies' man and then getting with that 911 dispatcher with the first lady and then the other ones didn't work out just made me think that none of those came up to the expectations he had of them. So I didn't really see the character development in it.
I see what you're saying. And me personally, I seen it because it was like he was not really a womanizer, but he was kind of like jumping from person to person. Yeah, the first lady that he was with, she was kind of like top tier, and I get what you're saying, and none of the other women kind of lived up to the aspect of that one woman, and that might be where his character is developing into where he's kind of spiraling out and going to another like type of dating style, just to see if that's where he's kind of at. But I also kind of see it as far as if I'm looking at it as a straight man that's in the closet or confused or kind of curious, he's going to be that womanizer. He's going to want to be with all these different women just to kind of cover up or just to kind of mask how he's really feeling. And I feel like when he had that scare with death where he died and then came back, that kind of put things into perspective for him to make him, you know what? If this is what it is, then I want to go all for it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just wish there was more like, instead of like, what was it, the fourth episode, it was like,
yeah,
boom, you know what I'm saying?
You wish it was more of a lead
like,
up to
yeah,
it.
because like it was the moment we saw it, we was like, they're getting ready to kiss. And
kiss him right now.
No, me and Tara looked at each other, we was just like, they look like they're getting ready to have a kiss moment.
and they tongued it down. But there was one part where they did go on a date.
Yeah.
They did do that. And Eddie and Mighty Saul popped up. And Buck didn't know how to handle it. He was just like, yeah, we're just out eating dinner, and made it kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And then after the date happened, outside, they were supposed to go to a movie.
Yeah.
Him and Tommy were supposed to go to a movie, and Tommy was like, you know what? I'm going home. You can go see the movie by yourself because I just don't think you're ready.
Yeah.
And so it kind of ended off weird, but my thing is, I think the character was meant to do that to make Buck like eat. Like, and when I say eat, I mean like to make Buck sweat. Like, oh my God, he shot me down. Like, I really want this guy. I really want to keep working at it. I want him. Like, all I can think about is him. And that ended up what happened. That ended up to be what happened. And now they're kind of like doing their thing. Like, Buck invited Tommy to his sister's wedding as his guest. So, like, I guess we kind of got to see where it leads. I don't know. I'm not completely convinced that Buck and Tommy are going to be a thing. I think this might be like just like a little bit of like a tester for Buck.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, everything's happening way too fast. And that's what I was saying. Like, there There wasn't a build up. It just was like jump into it.
But we honestly don't know how fast it's happening either, because
you're not wrong.
You don't know how many days have passed in that episode. Well, from episode to episode.
Yeah.
Because it's been episode 4 and episode 5. So how long passed in between those times to where they had time, where Buck had time to like mourn and crave Tommy, to now they're on this date and he getting invited to the wedding and stuff like that. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I get where you're coming from as far as like they didn't give it like the character enough time to develop into the cravings of Tommy, or to the cravings of homosexuality.
Right.
Let's just put it out there. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Speaking of homosexuality,
oh man,
I want to get on Hen and Karen's situation where they adopted Satan's baby.
Not Satan's baby.
Not Satan's baby. She's actually a little girl. She's not too young. She's not too old. But they were originally trying to adopt, I think, a newborn.
Yeah. And
that didn't work out. But the social worker had another child that she thought would be perfect with them. Come to find out, this girl is damaged goods. And I mean that in the most respect possible.
Yeah, she had a rough.
She had a rough upbringing. Come to find out. So before we go into that, they got the little girl. The little girl didn't speak. She really didn't do too much of anything. And then one night they woke up, or were woken up out of nowhere, and the little girl standing at the end of their bed just staring at them. Me personally, I probably would have drop kicked her in her forehead, like, what are you doing? Out of terror. Like, that was scary.
Yeah.
It was almost like serial killer.
That right there was kind of off-putting for me too. I was like, go back to bed.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? And then on another scene, the little girl cracked the little boy's head open, and cracked Hen and Karen's son's head open.
Yeah. And
he had to have stitches, and they kind of got a little frustrated with the girl and wanted to know more about what was going on in her past, like her parents and everything like that. So they reached out to the social worker and found out that the little girl was present while her parents OD'd. Yes, and they ended up dying.
Yeah.
And she had to be the one to call 911 and explain to them that her parents didn't wake up.
Yeah.
And so that was the reason that she was actually standing in front of their bed watching them to make sure that they were going to wake up.
Yeah.
Because she still had that terror and that can I say that PTSD from her parents dying in front of her. And she was, even in the call, she was like, yeah, my parents always take these pills in to help them sleep, and then they wake up, but this time they didn't wake up. So it was heartbreaking, really. And so they got to the bottom of it. And then as far as her Hen and Karen's son being hit with, I think it was a bowl that she threw, or a cup that she threw.
I think it was a cup.
And cracked his head open and caused him to have to get stitches. It was because he tried to take her blanket away from her.
Yeah. Which
is like her security blanket, which for me, it's my hat. My hats are my security blanket. If I have a hat on, I feel so safe and so chill and calm. Some people, it's their wedding ring. If they're without their wedding ring, they lose their mind. If they have it on, they feel secure and safe. And there's other things for other people.
See, me personally, I'm gonna be real with you. I had this blanket when I was I think it was 4 years old. I got it.
I thought you was about to say when I was 14.
When I was 5 years old, they had this little kid clinic. It was it used to be at the Lexington Mall right there in Richmond Road.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it was Turfland Mall. So, but they was handing out, free blankets and stuff. And
oh, is it free blanket?
Yeah. So
okay.
I ended up having this blanket. I had that blanket since I was almost in my almost 25, 26.
Oh wow! So you kept it?
Yeah.
It was like a souvenir.
Yeah. No, it went everywhere. It went everywhere with me. If I wanted to sleep, it came with me.
Even at the age of 25?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I could not sleep without that blanket.
Wow.
And it took me a little while because I mean I dealt with like insomnia and stuff.
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
I got you. So that was kind of like your security blanket plus your like shelter to like help you sleep at.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I had that thing up until 26, and then I helped my dad move down here to Lexington, and it got lost in the move. And I was devastated. Like I still couldn't find a blanket that I was like comfortable with.
Who got my blanket? I need one just like it. It's gotta smell like it and everything.
Yeah, I was devastated. I was like, and it was traumatic.
So yeah, come to find out, the blanket was her security blanket, and he was trying to take it from her so she could eat, and she didn't like that, so she threw a object at his head and busted his head open and caused him to have to get stitches. After they found out everything about her background with her parents passing and her being there and witnessing and being the one that called 911, because they actually spoke with Buck's sister. I can never remember her name. What is her name? The crybaby. She cried every episode.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I just call her the crybaby because she cries every episode. Every episode. But it's Chum's wife.
Chimney's wife.
Chimney's wife. Yeah, I said Chum. Chimney's wife. They called her and went to visit her, and she let them listen to the recording of it. And after that, they sat and talked to the little girl. Well, Karen sat and talked to the little girl. And like I said, the little girl did not speak. She only kind of looked at you, or she didn't look at you. She just like glared in a direction that nobody was in. Maddie, that's her name. Crybaby Maddie, period. Like her character, they need to give her some time to not cry. She's damaged goods too.
There has been times where
there has not.
Yeah, there has.
Where she didn't cry?
She hasn't cried this season.
Lies.
When she cried this season?
Lies. Every episode that lady's on, she cries.
When she cried this season? When?
Any episode that she's
she hasn't cried this season.
I swear, if she's on that screen for more than 5 minutes or more than 3 minutes,
she couldn't have cried this season because she had to be the bigger man for Buck going through his little issue.
No, she cried.
She didn't cry.
Yeah, I swear. We're going to go back and I want you to go back and watch all of season 7 over again, and you'll see that she cries in one of those episodes. Or at least every episode where she's got screen time for more than 2 minutes.
Y'all, I think he's over exaggerating.
Y'all. If you can prove that I'm over exaggerating, do it. Put it in the comments. Let me know if I'm over exaggerating, but as far as I know, I'm not. But anyways, they spoke with Maddie, and Maddie let them listen to the recording. Come to find out, that's what happened with the little girl seeing her parents pass away or overdose, and she called the police to pronounce that the parents had overdosed and they didn't wake up. So when Karen and Hen got home, Karen went and talked to the little girl and kind of made her feel secure. Like, I understand that you've seen this happen and you should have never seen that happen. We promise that we will always be there for you. This is a safe space for you. And if you ever want to watch us sleep, she then gave her a baby monitor to sit beside her bed that was the other part of the baby monitor was angled at Hen and Karen's bed so she can watch them sleep anytime she wanted to. No. And I'm cracking a smile because I got a lot to say after this. But then the little girl spoke up and was like, "Thank you, good night." So the little girl like acknowledged and kind of opened up a little bit, which kind of warmed Karen's heart, and then went around the corner and Hen standing there, and it warmed both of their hearts. So then they proceeded to go to bed. Yeah. My only issue with that is when y'all want to get frisky, that little girl.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
And that's on God. So what do y'all cut it off when y'all about to get nasty, or do y'all just get nasty when they not there?
They just kind of put that camera down, facing down.
Period. And then the little girl gonna start screaming. Oh yeah! When she started screaming.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
She screamed her neck off. When she was standing in front of the bed? And they went over to see what was wrong with her, and she just started screaming at the top of her lungs.
No, she was. It looked like she almost was like sleepwalking or something.
I think it was because they were reaching for the blanket.
Yeah. And
she started screaming. I would have knocked that little girl's head off her shoulders. Don't be screaming like that in my house at midnight. woke me up at 2:00 in the morning and you standing at the foot of my bed, then you gonna scream like somebody's trying to murder you. You would whoop the hands. Let me not, because I do not condone child abuse and I would not abuse my child. But if y'all would have seen the episode, and if y'all have seen the episode, it was crazy. Like, it was almost serial killer. Like, I would have probably put hands on that little girl.
Yeah.
If I woke up and she was standing there, and then I tried to get up to help her, and she started screaming.
I would have to look at the foster care like, can we get another one? This one's defective.
Yeah, can y'all come get her, please? Because this is not the tea.
This one's defective.
I'm gonna need her to go on a long cruise ride to figure out her whole entire thing. But speaking of cruise rides,
man,
look, I said that right up just like it. Athena and Bobby, I'm gonna let you explain that one, because that one was a whole thing.
Okay, so Bobby and Athena, Bobby wants to go on a cruise because he's wanting to go on vacation.
Honeymoon.
Yeah, honeymoon.
Yeah.
And Athena's not really too happy about it because she feels like their relationship's built on chaos, and without the chaos, they feel like she would be boring to him. So,
and she's scared to go on a cruise.
Yeah, and I actually don't really think that the cruise was really all that bad. It was just her being having alone time with Bobby.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying, because during the cruise,
and then so they get on the cruise. And then
the cruise got on them.
They eventually run into this one couple, and the lady is somebody they met in the previous episodes in the seasons before.
She was the lady that was on the billboard.
Yeah, she was on the billboard naked.
Yeah,
screaming at her husband who was there.
Yeah,
and they do their best on trying to, enjoy themselves while the other couple was sitting there trying to get them to do a couple things with them. And Athena's all about it because she just didn't want that alone time.
Yeah, and another thing is that couple pretty much lived on that cruise ship.
Yeah, they retired.
They retired and lived on the cruise ship. So each time it ported, they just stayed on and went on the next cruise that the boat went on. So they knew pretty much everybody, the cruise directors, the workers, everybody.
Yeah. And so there was a point when they dock at an island, and then they get back on the ship, and next thing you know, the cruise ships get ran by pirates.
Yes. And the wife of the gentleman, the lady that was on the billboard, wasn't on the cruise anymore.
Yeah.
And the husband of that lady actually popped up with another woman.
Yeah.
Who had her key badge and everything.
Yeah, which got, Athena caught with that, and then Cosmo switched into effect, and then she just started going crazy with it.
So she was able to get her time separate from Bobby.
Yeah.
By doing that.
And so...
But she was making up a lot of lies to kind of like get him to go with the couple, so she didn't have to go.
Yeah.
She had headaches, which he later was like, yeah, you don't have no headaches. Like, you're lying. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. And so when they get confronted
by the pirates,
mm-hmm. They thought that the husband was a millionaire who had a whole bunch of Bitcoin.
Yes.
And so they was trying to rob him. Well, come to find out, the the cruise director, the entertainment director, was the one that snagged the Bitcoin.
And he was sleeping with the lady that was on the billboard.
He was sleeping with the wife. And so they had the plan to get this money and run away together or whatever.
Yeah, so, pretty much.
And so that didn't happen. And then the pirates.
So the husband got shot.
Yeah, the pirates shoot the husband I think it was in the stomach.
Yeah.
And so they trying to patch him up, saying that they have to go to the dock to take him to a hospital. A hurricane hits the boat.
Yep.
A big old wave hits that boat.
Big old. Oh God.
So then the ship capsizes. So they're trying to get everybody back, like trying to round everything up. Dude sitting there crying about his poker chips.
Yes. So now at this point, they're on the floor of like the casino inside the boat. They're not on the deck anymore. They're down in the casino part of the boat. They have the husband who's been shot on the poker table.
Yeah.
And they're trying to like get him together. There's a guy that will not leave the casino because he has not been cashed out, and he refuses to leave until he gets cashed out because I'm assuming he had a lot of money.
Yeah.
That he had won. And
which really on a cruise ship, if you win a lot of money, then they give you a voucher.
Yeah.
And then you have to take that voucher when you go back and dock, and then you have to pay your taxes on that to get your winnings.
Yeah, so he wanted his voucher immediately. Well, he didn't want his voucher. He wanted them coins.
Yeah, he wanted his money.
So he ended up standing in there. Also, the Athena and Bobby were in there because Athena had spoken up and was like, yeah, he does not have your money.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have what you're looking for. Who you need to... Athena was the one that was like, it's the cruise director.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she did her Carmen Sandiego investigation, top tier security of the world on the whole situation. It was like, that's who's got your coin.
Yeah.
And him and her have been doing their thing. So Athena kind of knew everything. So they're all sitting in the casino area, and then the boat capsizes.
Mm-hmm.
And then after it capsizes, they decide they need to strap the husband down to the poker table. So they strap him down to the poker table, and then the boat starts to flip more. Now the boat's completely upside down and submerged underwater.
Yep.
It hasn't like completely started to engulf the casino where they are, even though there's like a skylight, or like a glass skylight that's probably about to bust, because the guy that was sitting there begging for his coins fell on it from standing up when it capsized and flipped over. He was holding on and slipped and let go, and he ended up dying by hitting the glass.
Yeah.
The glass didn't break though. So now they have to find their way up to the bottom of the boat, which is now the thing that's submerged out of the water, and find their way to safety. They have to get the husband lured down, which was really cool how they did that.
Yeah.
Bobby did that, but they ended up unscrewing the poker table with the husband on it and lowering it down really slowly to have him released from it, and then them having to climb their way to the stairways and work their way back up to the bottom of the boat, which is the only part that's not submerged underwater.
And then that piano fell.
Yeah. Oh, go for it.
So, and then a piano falls and breaks the glass, which it releases all the water pressure that glass was holding back. So then they have to find a way to the top real quick because the boat was filling up with water. In the meantime, on the land, Hen knew something was going wrong because she kept trying to call Bobby and Athena, and nobody wouldn't answer.
And then their boat wasn't visible on the radar anymore.
So, she goes to Maddie, and then Maddie helps trying to figure out what calls were coming in from like Mexico and stuff.
Yeah.
So they she eventually finds a distress call from the boat that they was on, and she tries to go up to the chief and tell him, hey, we got a problem with the boat.
And the chief said that's out of our jurisdiction. Yeah. We can't do anything.
And so enter in Tommy from where they
Mr. Hot Tommy.
They go and get the boat, and of course, Eddie and Buck's there, so they all.
So in the meantime, in between time, back at the boat, they find the captain of the boat who had been kind of stuck in like halfway submerged in water and trying to get out. So there was something that the captain had to do to release something for them to move further up the boat, and the captain was too injured to do it, so Athena ended up doing it. So Athena goes down to I want to say like the hold or something like that, and she's trying to release this valve that needs to be released, and she can't do it while the boat is still filling up with water.
Yeah.
And I think it was to stop the water from going.
It was stop the water. It was to relieve the pressure.
Yeah, relieve the pressure that was building up. And so Athena goes and starts to turn the thing, and she can't quite do it. And then Bobby appears behind her and starts turning the thing too. Well, they release the pressure, and in the process of releasing the pressure, they get locked in this room.
Yeah.
And so this room starts filling up with water. Athena was already in possession of the criminal, which was the boat's director. She had him in handcuffs. She had to release him when they found the captain and had him help the captain to safety while she went down to the hold to release the pressure. And so in the process of her and Bobby almost drowning, like, it was bad, y'all. Like, they literally almost drowned. And right in the nick of time, the criminal, who was the boat director of the whole entire cruise ship, he opened the door and relieved the water out of that and was like, come on, are y'all ready? Like, what took y'all so long?
Yeah, trying to be all smart.
Yeah, trying to be nice. And I think that he thought that it was going to give him, like, some kudos points to where she wasn't going to, like, get him in trouble. But in the end, she turned him in.
You knew he knew he was too late for that.
Yeah.
It was over.
But didn't he die?
Yeah. No.
He didn't?
No. The security...
he did. He did.
Did he die?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's been a little bit so.
Yeah, but the security guy died too. But they ended up getting rescued by Mr. Tommy and his helicopter in him. After that's what happened.
Yeah.
They had to shoot off that flare gun, and the one guy ended up dying.
Oh yeah.
That was him.
Yeah.
And he ended up hitting something and dying, and then they
it bounced back into his forehead.
Yeah, it bounced back into his forehead and it killed him. And so then somebody else picked up the flare gun and shot it up in the air, and that's how the helicopter was that's how the helicopter seen them.
Yeah.
And Hen was the one that saw it, because they were actually turning around to go back to land.
Yeah.
And Hen saw that flare go off, and they turned around and was able to rescue Athena and Bobby. Y'all, it was deep. And like we told y'all, this is a spoiler alert, and we giving y'all blow by blow, pretty much. So we warned you, period. But speaking of blow by blow and spoiler alert, let's go to Eddie and Marty Saul. I'm not going to get into it because we already know kind of the past of them two. They kind of had a thing and it didn't work. And so when they saw each other again in the hardware store, they kind of clicked again. And then they went on a couple of dates, and then they started to date heavy. And one of them were going to move in with the other one, and something happened that caused Eddie to feel some type of way.
Found out she was a nun
in her past. He found out that she was a nun in her past, and he didn't know how he could be intimate with her or pursue any further in a relationship with her without thinking of the image of her in her nunnery.
I don't know. Some of them images he had of her wasn't really all nun though.
But he was saying, like, as far as like he couldn't think of her as anything but a nun after seeing that image. Yeah. So, and this will be short. So to conclude with that, they both kind of felt the same way. She walked in while they were kind of like in the process of moving in together, but not moving in together. And she was like, we need to talk. I know you've seen the images of me. He was like, why didn't you tell me? She was like, because there's two types of guys. Guys that see this as like a fantasy come true, and then guys that completely are turned off by it.
Yeah.
And she was like, he was like, well, this is something we can work through. So they are still going in the direction of being together and moving in together. They're just going to take it slow and kind of figure out the path for them as far as him trying to get over the fact that she was a nun in her past. But yeah, there was a lot of juice that happened in 5 episodes.
I know. It was a lot to take.
Like, I'm cottonmouth sitting over here, and I didn't even smoke no weed. I'm just cottonmouth because I just talk a lot.
It's almost kind of like, where are they going to go with this now?
Yeah, but I feel like they're going to start diving deep into the different scenarios that we talked about. How Athena and Bobby are after the cruise. How Hen and Karen are adjusting to the fostering of this little girl, because they haven't adopted her.
Yeah.
Tommy and Buck, how their relationship builds or breaks down. And Eddie and Marty, so they're going strong, but can they maintain that as far as what he knows about her
I
past?
hope they can.
I do too, because I think that's really cute.
Yeah.
I really like that. But yeah, there was a lot that happened in 911, in The Circle, and in Love Is Blind. Like, these are 3 really good TV shows. Love Is Blind is over for season 6. Season 6 has concluded, and that was the one with Clay, AD, Jimmy, Chelsea, Johnny, Amy, Jeremy, Lauren, Kenneth, and Brittany. But you know something? There was so many other people in there that they don't
It happens every season. Like they start with a whole group of people, like on both sides, men and women, and then they focus on the ones that end up building the connection, and the other ones get kind of.
But what if those people over there build a connection with somebody too?
Either that or it's not as juicy, hence the entertainment side.
Facts. Because like when I was researching it, I'm like, okay, so there's this person I didn't see, this person I didn't see, this person I seen. Well, but it was kind of in like when the girls were in their little huddle. Y'all seen some of those girls. I'm like, where are these bitches?
Well, there's been some. There's been in past seasons. There's been like where they kind of meet up for like a bachelor party.
Yeah.
And then some of the guys come in and we're like, where were they?
Yeah, and that's what happened at the lake. Yeah, the lake barbecue, because somebody came in with Jessica. Yeah, so it was really interesting to actually see that they don't allow all of them to be like filmed. Yeah. And they only focus on those juicy ones, we shall say. And with The Circle, a couple of things have happened. I don't know if you want to mention it. Unless you want to save it to the next
I don't
episode.
know how far you into it, because we only have one more episode left.
Oh yeah, you way far. We're not gonna get into it. We'll get into more of The Circle another time, because they released.
It got juicy too.
Yeah, it gets real juicy. But they released on the 24th 4 more episodes, and I know that in the previous episode I said the 3rd release is on the 6th of May, but it's actually on the 1st of May.
Oh yeah.
So they released the last 4 episodes. I don't know if it's the last 4 or just 4 more episodes.
I don't know, because
on the 1st of May.
What they do with like Love Is Blind is they release another 4, and then they release a couple, and then they release the reunion.
Okay, well we'll find out.
Or they release the finale, and then they release the
I know that the next 4 episodes release on May the 1st. I don't know if those are all the episodes or if they're just releasing 4 more before they start releasing individual episodes.
So,
but yeah, and then there's more episodes coming out with 911. I don't know when. I talked to my co-host, and he was saying that like sometimes they do 2-week breaks. Yeah. As far as what they did with what was it?
Fire Country. They do the same thing. It gets ridiculous.
Which I'm mad about it.
Because they'll do a week break, and then they'll show you an episode, and they're like a 2-week break, and it's like, well, we just came from a break.
Yeah, so we will keep y'all posted on these topics on TV shows and any other TV shows that are coming out. I know that Wednesday should be coming out soon with another episode on Netflix.
Really? Because I heard that got canceled.
I don't think it is. With Jenna Ortega?
Yeah. I heard that got canceled. That was because they said it was coming out, and then they said it got canceled. I don't know. I have to do research on that, because
I know it better than it got canceled.
I heard mixed things. I like that. I like that series.
Because I've seen trailers for the new season.
See, I don't know. I haven't seen any trailers for it yet.
We'll keep y'all posted on whether they got canceled or not.
Because I know Jenny Ortega was in the new Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
So, and then, the writer's strike happened. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
What I'm thinking you're thinking of is the Scary Movie or Scream.
I don't know.
She bounced out of that after the whole war thing happened, and her co-star got fired for making her post it.
I did see something on Wednesday, but I'm not really sure what it was. So I don't really pay attention to those rumors until until they actually say.
But I'm gonna be highly upset if it's canceled.
Me too. I like that series. It was they did good with it. Although, except for Gomez Adams, they kind of took a different direction the way he was in the cartoon in the 90s, and I kind of
didn't like that one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess we just got to see how they develop the character.
Yeah,
I like the character development. They might develop him, and you might end up liking him. Any other TV shows you know of?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you watched it, but Chucky on Sci-Fi.
I haven't seen it.
It's actually pretty good. That's so it's on season 3 right now.
Oh, so I gotta
And
catch up.
I don't know if it's gonna be another season after this, although Chucky never dies, so
Period.
but
And you know
it's
this.
actually set after the cult of Chucky.
Okay, so the last movie is set right after.
Yeah.
that. Okay.
And then where it's set after that movie.
Okay.
So like the cult of Chucky, and then it goes into the Chucky series.
Got you.
And then another good series that was on Amazon was Fallout, which was based on the game.
Yeah, I didn't really like the game. I mean, I guess I didn't understand the game, so I couldn't get into it. I sold it like 2 days after I purchased it.
They did really good with it on the storyline and everything.
It looked okay.
It was good.
But I just don't know if I can watch it and understand it.
No, you can. You can. Yeah, it's like they do the flashbacks and all that, and so it's they did really well with it.
Okay.
Have you ever watched I Can See Your Voice?
I Can See Your Voice.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Yeah.
Love that show. My favorite one was the cook, who they didn't think it was her voice, but it really was.
Yeah.
Slated. Yeah. I really enjoyed her.
One movie or one show I wish would come back out was Alter Ego.
I don't think I ever seen that.
So Alter Ego, they did one season on it, and it was really good. So like they had people that sang, and then they had avatars. Basically, it was like a hologram image of like some type of avatar, and then like that the avatar could do like special things and stuff like that. And the judge and they could see like they actually like if they got voted off or they got further, they could like present themselves.
Oh.
And because the judges don't ever see what those people look like except for their avatar, and so they have the judge who sings better.
Oh, okay.
And so if they get voted off, then they do away with their they do something really cool. So they have their avatar sing, and then the people come out, and so they're kind of like they're doing a duet with their avatar.
That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
dope. It's
yes.
dope. Yeah.
I know a show that I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called Ghosts.
I wanted to check it out, but I never did.
So good, and they just came out with season 3. So if y'all haven't seen Ghost, it is a TV show that is based on a lady and her husband that inherit a bed and breakfast, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, they turn it into a bed and breakfast. But they inherit this house that they move into. They're from the city. They move in, and this girl that inherited the house, she falls down the steps and hits her head, and then she can see ghosts. All the ghosts that have died in their house, she can see them, including one of her family members that died in the house. And she's like this English woman with red hair. But there's all different types of ghosts. There's a singer. There's a guy from the war. There's a Cub Scout supervisor or manager. There's an Indian. There's a Viking. There's a hippie. There's a frat boy. It's different characters, and it's really good. Yeah. And they're into season 3. I'm only on episode 2, but it's juicy. I've seen the other. You gotta see it.
I'll have to check it out. I always wanted to check it out.
It's really good. It makes you, every episode you laugh so hard.
And then I don't know if you heard, but Rob Zombie's coming out with a series of Nightmare on Elm Street on Max.
Oh, don't tell me that, because Freddy was my favorite one.
Yeah, and Rob Zombie's directing it.
Freddy's my favorite child. I know I'm about to be all up in it. I'm about to be all up in it.
But also, too, if you like Love is Blind, you might want to check out Nick's other shows, The Ultimatum and Perfect Match. So, The Ultimatum basically is they bring couples in, and somebody in the couple has given the other person an ultimatum to pop the question.
Oh.
But, so what they do is, they kind of mix things up by switching the couples and have the couples live with somebody else from other couple.
Oh.
And then they go back
like wife swap.
Yeah, and then they go back to their relationship. and they either make the choice of taking the ultimatum or going with the swap.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Oh, that's deep.
And then Perfect Match.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, they bring all the people back from different shows
and try to see if they can match it.
And see if they can match it up.
That one's good too. Also, another show, and we'll end it with this show. Quiet on the Set. It's the dark side of kids' television shows. It has to do with Nickelodeon and the beast within, as far as what went down with these kids and the adults that were doing the utmost to these children, and how they were treated on set, how they were taken advantage of in more ways than one. And that's another show that y'all should really see.
Yeah, we might do a show on that.
Yeah, it
that
might be
my childhood. Around.
That might be a 2 or 3 part episode. I'm telling you, it's a lot, and there's still more that are coming out. I think it's 5 episodes right now, 5 or 6 episodes right now. But it really opens you up to what's really going on behind the scenes. And if you are interested in getting your children into like Hollywood type things, you really need to watch this because it goes deep. And never leave your kids alone with any of these people.
Well, that, and don't live through your children.
Yeah,
like that's what a lot of people.
If your kids don't want to do it, don't make them.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people have that get their children into sports and entertainment and stuff like that. They try to live through them, and don't do that. Don't do that. That's just asking for disaster.
And with that being said, that is all we have on today's episode, part 2 of episode 7, Agree to Disagree, where in the end we ended up agreeing, y'all. Ain't that crazy? And we told you that we would still be cool after this episode.
It's all parents.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It was our own opinions. We don't hold each other to that every time and hate each other for not agreeing. We agree.
I'm gonna stop talking to you for days.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk to you no more. This is the last podcast we're doing together. But my name's Javi, and I'm here with my boy D-Lo.
Yo.
And this is us signing out for part 2. We'll see you on Thursday.
Peace.